So, after dating my fiancé for 5 years, he drops the bomb, he isn't sure about marrying me. And the cherry on top. In front of his friends, he jokes, if you were prettier, I'd marry you this morning. Cue my soul quietly dying. A little backstory, Dominic and I met through mutual friends at a housewarming party. We clicked over mutual hatred of IPAs and love for 90s cartoons. Things were normal. 1 year dating, 2 years living together, got our cat Beans, got engaged last summer. Proposal. Saturday morning hike, fumbled ring, I said yes, easy. We set the wedding for October. Mostly me planning, him nodding along. Then things started to feel off. Dominic began making weird comments about the wedding, nothing direct, just hesitant. That's a lot of money for one day, or, do we really need to invite all those people? I shrugged it off. Then came the late replies to my texts, looks fine, or, whatever you want. And suddenly, he's out more with his work friend Paul. Again, nothing crazy, just frequent. When home, he's distant, glued to his phone. I tried to talk to my friend Lena, who chalked it up to pre-wedding jitters. I even tried a date night, Italian place, nice dress, his favorite beer waiting at home. Disaster. He dropped the big bomb mid-conversation, not ready for the wedding, marriage, or anything serious. All 5 years of our relationship, 8 months of engagement, gone in one moment. The kicker. He referenced conversations with Paul. And later, Kyler, one of his co-workers, confirmed what happened. Dominic, drunk at a bar, said, if you were prettier, I'd be more excited about marrying you, laughed it off like it was nothing. I sat in my car, crying for 20 minutes. The man I loved had publicly humiliated me. At home, he's passed out on the couch, beer-stale apartment, Beans in tow. I retreated to the bedroom. Next morning. Breakfast apology, coffee, bacon, the works. I confronted him, face fell. I was drunk, it was a joke. Classic. Argument ensues. His defense? Guys being guys. No. Not okay. Turns out, Dominic has been bottling everything up, fears about turning into his dad, who bailed when he was 12, doubts about commitment, anxiety over wedding costs, Paul's constant doom and gloom marriage stories. He was scared of forever, terrified he'd screw everything up. He admitted he even questioned us, if we were truly compatible. 5 years together, still wondering if we were the right people for each other. By Sunday night, I needed space. Enter Elliot, my brother, safe harbor extraordinaire. Dominic kept texting apologies. Valerie, his mom, called crying about something important. And now here I am, sitting in my car outside a coffee shop, wondering what else could possibly be left to know and whether my 5-year relationship is about to implode entirely. After my last confrontation with Dominic, I realized there was something huge he wasn't telling me. And by something huge, I mean the kind of secret that makes you want to throw your phone out the window and become a hermit. I packed a week's worth of clothes, toiletries, and my laptop, because apparently, trauma is more digestible with spreadsheets. Dominic, ever the Shakespearean hero in coward's clothing, said he loved me. I responded with a line that should win an Oscar, sometimes love isn't enough. Yeah, try saying that at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday and not sounding like a villain in your own story. On the way to meet Valerie, Dominic's mom, aka the woman with more emotional wisdom than all of Instagram, I got a call from Karina, Dominic's sister. She was worried, concerned, and apparently the only sane person in that family. She drops the bombshell, is this about Maria? Maria. Who? Oh, just the woman whose name will haunt me for the next 3 months. Apparently, I'd been dating someone who had a crush on a coworker, and didn't tell me. I met Valerie at a coffee shop. She looked like someone had stolen her makeup bag and her patience. The second she started talking, I realized Dominic's behavior wasn't just stress or post-bar embarrassment. Oh no. Maria, the innocent project coordinator, had apparently triggered a full-blown existential crisis in Dominic. He wasn't cheating physically, but emotionally. He was frolicking through the danger zone like a toddler in a minefield. So apparently, Dominic, my fiancé of 5 years, had been slowly building emotional sandcastles with Maria, all while pretending to care about our wedding. And I, being the naive idiot, thought the drunken bar comment was just a bad night. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Valerie's wisdom hit me like a freight train: you can't make someone choose you. They either do or they don't. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for the unsolicited life lesson in the middle of a caffeine coma. Then Karina confirmed it: Dominic had promised her he'd tell me everything last Thursday. Did he? Of course not. That's the Dominic we're talking about, the human embodiment of procrastination and poor decision-making. Now, enter Maria. She texts me, "Can we meet?" There's more to the story. My heart. My brain, sure, why not? Let's add more chaos to the stew. Breakfast meeting ensues. Maria, bless her, was just as confused as I was. Apparently, Paul, Dominic's toxic bro-friend, had been stirring the pot, planting seeds of doubt, and calling Dominic trapped like some evil Disney villain. Maria had a boyfriend of 3 years and had no idea Dominic was drooling over her, emotionally. She was basically a bystander in the Titanic-level disaster that was my engagement. At this point, I had a moment of clarity: Paul is the villain. Dominic is an emotional toddler. And somehow, I had survived 5 years of this circus. I texted Karina, and we set up a family meeting at her place, neutral territory, because apparently my apartment is a crime scene. Family dinner happens. Think, small apartment, pasta, high tension, and Paul doing his best impression of a cat poking a sleeping dog. Valerie, Karina, me, trying to hold a civilized conversation while Dominic shrinks into himself, admitting he was scared of turning into his dad. And the joke at the bar? Totally him being a coward. Not Maria's fault. Not mine. Just a man being a man. By midnight, everyone was emotionally exhausted, full of pasta and regret. We mutually decided the wedding was off. Our 5-year relationship. Over. Dominic's family. Still intact. Me. I was alive, slightly bitter, and probably going to need therapy. And that, my friends, is how I learned that love isn't always enough. Sometimes you also need honesty, courage, and a friend willing to make pasta and judge your sobbing into it at 2 a.m. So, the wedding is off. Like, really off. Not in a "we're taking a break" way, but in a 5 years of shared life, wedding planning, and Pinterest boards just evaporated way. Karina drove me back to Lena's after the family dinner. She insisted this didn't change my bond with her or Valerie. I was still family, no matter what mess Dominic had caused. I sat on Lena's pull-out couch in the dark, letting the reality hit like a truck full of regrets: 5 years gone, wedding cancelled, future uncertain. I didn't cry right away. I made a to-do list on my phone instead: cancel the venue, deposit probably gone, $8,000 down the drain, return the ring, contact guests, move out of the apartment, change relationship status on social media. Practical me was screaming, emotional me wanted to throw my phone at the wall. Past 2 a.m., Lena shuffled out of her bedroom. She heard me come in and just sat beside me. Arm around my shoulders, quiet solidarity until sunrise. No words, just existing in my new, sad reality. Morning brought texts from every corner of my former life. Dominic, can we meet to discuss practical matters? Apartment lease, furniture, finances. Adult. Cold. Final. Elliot, my brother, when should I come help pack your things? Protective and efficient, as always. Mom, should I cancel my flight? Somehow the grapevine had already spread the news. The ring is heavy on my finger. Round diamond, white gold, classic like our relationship. Irony's a cruel friend. I called the venue. Sympathetic but firm, deposit non-refundable, $8,000, gone. Vacations, dinners out, impulse coffee runs, gone. Karina found a photographer who might transfer our deposit to a future event. Valerie offered to handle family notifications. Paul sent a non-apology text about how these things happen for a reason, deleted immediately. Maria, surprisingly, expressed regret and reassurance. She was just collateral damage in Dominic's emotional mess. The hardest part? Mundane reminders everywhere. Wedding binder in my tote, shared Spotify playlist for the reception, honeymoon folder on my laptop. Tiny shards of a future that no longer exists. Lena suggested a mental health day, but I went to work anyway. Filing insurance claims, staring at the ghost of a wedding. My co-workers were either mercifully normal or politely oblivious to my puffy eyes and absent ring. Dominic and I met at a coffee shop the next day, neutral territory. He'd agreed to move out temporarily, practical conversations about keys and kitchen appliances. One day we're debating cake flavors, next day we're negotiating PlayStation custody. Valerie had a point, endings are messy, complicated, rarely clean. She rebuilt her life after Dominic's dad left. If she can, maybe there's hope for me too. 3 months later, new apartment, smaller but mine, tiny balcony with mint thriving, Basil dead again, symbolic, apparently. Dominic moved out, we split possessions. Shared coffee maker, throw blankets, framed photos, everything dissected into his and mine. I finally broke the lease and moved on. Social media was its own horror show. 2 weeks before I changed my relationship status. Friends, distant relatives, classmates, flooded with curiosity disguised as concern. Posted a vague statement, muted notifications, tossed phone across the couch. Later, a single photo of new apartment keys, new beginnings. Fewer likes than engagement announcement, but somehow, more honest. Dominic and I spoke only about practical stuff, mail, cloud storage, borrowed air fryer. Civil, strained, like acquaintances in a poorly scripted sitcom. Therapy changed him, he's examining himself, his father, his toxic friend Paul. No reconciliation sought, just honesty. I genuinely hope it helps him, because carrying all that unresolved trauma seems exhausting. Maintaining relationships with his family while disconnecting from him has been, weirdly grounding. Valerie texts memes and garden updates, Karina and I have breakfast every other Sunday. Boundaries respected, support intact. Me. Some days liberated, some days I miss the practical comforts, like someone to reach high shelves or fix hot water. Therapy is ongoing, I'm reclaiming lost parts of myself. Hiking resumed. Dating, maybe someday. Right now, learning to be okay with my own company. The honeymoon? Cancelled. Non-refundable. Lena suggested I go anyway, solo. Terrifying concept at first, 10 days alone in a romantic cottage. Slowly, the appeal grew. Books, podcasts, sunrise walks. Comfort over appearance. Sunburn probable. Clarity, maybe. Progress isn't perfection. The song from our Spotify playlist played in a store, twinge, not meltdown. Shower temperature fluctuates. Another basil plant died. Occasionally, I still grab my phone to text Dominic something funny, before remembering, of course, we don't do that anymore. Life's messy. Expensive. Heartbreaking. But slowly, it's mine again.